When you think of the most horrible deaths in A Song of Ice and Fire, is it burning at the stake? Or maybe it's your head getting absolutely obliterated like a melon by the mountain? Well, none of them really compare to the tale of Aerea Targaryen. Now, Aerea Targaryen's story is crazy, it's horrendous, it's everything under the sun. But those who are wondering, who was Aerea Targaryen? Well, let me explain. Aerea Targaryen was the daughter of Aegon Targaryen, the Uncrowned, as well as being the daughter of Rhaena Targaryen. Both her mother and father were the daughter and son of Aenys I, who was the son of Aegon the Conqueror. So that would make Aegon the Conqueror her great-grandfather. Now, Aerea had a twin sister as well. Both were described to be as every Targaryen used to look in the books, and that would be having silver hair and purple eyes. Now, one thing about Aerea that you might not know, which is very cool, is that she was one of Balerion's riders. After Maegor the Cruel was Balerion's rider, and of course his fate of him dying on the Iron Throne, she took over. She went and claimed Balerion. Now, one crazy thing about her fate is that Balerion was evolved, but it was not exactly his fault. After Aerea did actually claim Balerion, they flew off somewhere. And what's crazy about this is they still don't know where she flew. There's a lot of theories, there's a lot of sightings by people in A Song of Ice and Fire to maybe see where she went. But the best theory that has been going around, that was stated by one of the Grand Maesters, was that they flew to Old Valyria. And by then, the doom of Valyria has already happened, and the whole place was probably ravaged with God knows what. There could have been crazy creatures, there could have been crazy weather, there could have been anything over there. Now, both were in Dragonstone before they flew away. But the problem is they went missing for a year. No one, like I said, no one knew where they went. They tried to look all over for her. Her mother, Queen Rhaena, even visited King's Landing because she thought that her daughter had arrived there. However, when she did arrive there and found that she was not there, she was obviously very confused. Her mother even got to the point where she rode Dreamfire, the current dragon of Helaena Targaryen, and went searching across the 7 kingdoms for her daughter. Ravens were literally sent all across Westeros to see if there were sightings of Aerea or Balerion. When you think about it, if no one's seen a dragon that size, because at that point Balerion was absolutely huge. Aerea Targaryen only had Balerion for 2 years before Viserys I came in and took Balerion after that, and by that time he was already at his old age. Now at this point, King Jaehaerys the Conciliator was the king, and they had all agreed to this point. Imagine a year had passed and someone was still missing, you would think that she is dead. There was a lot of theories on what might have happened to them, like Balerion literally chucking off Aerea off his back, but that would never happen between a dragon and their rider. After a year, a full year later, Balerion and Aerea Targaryen did return to King's Landing. However, when Balerion did land, Aerea looked like a completely different person. It was described as her eyes being bloody, her hair being a tangled mess and just not the original colour it was. It looked like she was wearing rags. She was so skinny to the point you could see her bones through her skin. You could tell that Aerea was severely ill. And something that was even scarier was something had managed to injure Balerion to the point where it affected Balerion heavily. Even affected him to the point where Viserys I was his rider. Even though Balerion did die to old age, the injury that he succumbed to wherever they went fast forwarded his death. Now when they took Aerea Targaryen to the chambers to see what was wrong with her, that is when Septon Barth literally kicked everybody out of the room and gave Aerea milk of the poppy because of the condition she was in. Now what was described in Aerea Targaryen's body? If you are squeamish guys, I'd look away now. Something visibly similar to what is on the screen now, however even bigger and all over her body. Now the main theory is that she obviously did get some sort of parasite or she was infected. Now the shape of the things under her skin looked like worms, and what you can get in Old Valyria were fireworms. Now what were fireworms? Fireworms were basically creatures that didn't have any wings, but they breathed fire. And they could have basically been related to dragons. Now it is very possible one of them could have injured Balerion. Just got up, I don't know, did something to him. While those things were under Aerea's skin, this is what was happening to her body. And I quote, "Her flesh grew darker until it resembled pork cracklings. Smoke came from her mouth, nose, and her nether regions. Aerea's eyes cooked within her skull until they burst. When the princess was lowered into the tub of ice, slimy, unspeakable things making horrible sounds emerged from under her skin. One as long as his arm, but the creatures of heat and fire died from the cold of ice." Now, it is still unknown what infected her, what was under her skin. However, everyone is confident it is fireworms. Fireworms are something that could be capable of injuring Balerion and also infecting Aerea Targaryen with something such as a horrible parasite that led her to die such a horrible death. Now, for me, that is arguably the most horrible death I've heard in A Song of Ice and Fire. The fact that these worms also had faces, apparently. Imagine a face coming out of your skin and it's all over you. Now guys, let me know in the comment section below, have you ever heard of this story, and if you haven't, what did you think of this death? Now I know a lot of people who are book readers and are Song of Ice and Fire fans will know about this story, but this is also informing those who are not informed with the books and are mostly TV show watchers. I do think this is probably the most horrible death ever. If they ever televise this or ever make it, they better do it in full detail because I want to see all this shit. But guys, thank you so much for coming by. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you want more content like this, and I will catch you guys later for the next video. Peace out, guys.